Hello everybody. Thank you for attending this part of the series. Basically, let me just introduce ourselves. My wife and myself, we run a ministry called BodyKure, and basically we're, as Adventists term it, medical missionaries. But we don't go around and deem ourselves as medical missionaries. When we go around and we speak to people, we call ourselves natural health assistants, because it's a lot more broader emphasis placed on medical missionary work. So my wife and I will be doing this for a good couple of years. We've managed to speak into many churches, and we've also been invited into Sunday keeping churches as well to present God's health message. So we know that indeed this is the right arm of the gospel. For those who are curious, what BodyKure stands for is for the 8 laws of health. So basically, B stands for be temperate, O stands for open air, D stands for diet, Y stands for yes to sunshine, K stands for keep trusting in the Creator, U is understanding the use and value of water, R is rest, and E is exercise. So when you put all of God's 8 laws together, you should receive a BodyKure. And I'm afraid I'm going to have to say this in as loving way as I possibly can. But we must understand how much your physical health affects your spirituality. We don't have this emphasized enough in our churches or even in so-called retreats. The health message is very, very important for the people of God. If we don't understand and recognize how, if our body is ill, it affects our mindset and then affects our reasoning, we will be lost because of our choices, because we haven't understood the health message. Now, I haven't got time to go through it all today, but you go through the Bible yourself, and you see the very first thing God tested his people on was on diet. And we don't like to talk about these things in the churches today, because it seems like we're condemning people, but we're not condemning people. This is a message from heaven. God has spoken through the writings of Ellen White, and when you read through those writings, it's very cutting. And we really need to, as God people, wake up and see that our habits of eating and drinking is determining whether we're going to be going to heaven or whether we're going to be down here to burn. It's as serious as that. So we don't take this position lightly at all. When we deal with people, when we talk to people, we tell them the consequences. Every promise. This is the problem I have with God's people today. We're quick to call on the promises of God. But in the Bible, it's very clear. Every promise is based on conditions. And if we do not put ourselves in the conditions where God wants us to be, He cannot, He will not bless us. It's impossible for an intemperate man to become a Christian. Impossible. And that's why throughout the whole of the Bible, you see God talking about being temperate in all things. That means all aspects of our lives. So we really need to look into this, and unfortunately, we haven't got the time to go into this today. But what we're going to do today, I just want to basically go through a presentation about toxins. Again, this is something greatly overlooked. And you know, Satan, he's had nearly 6,000 years to study how to destroy man. And he's destroying us through the most simplest ways, and that's through our lifestyle. If we think that we can just say, Lord, Lord, and not do the things he's asked us to do, we've got another thing coming. Only those who are fully surrendered to God's will be saved. And we really need to understand how Satan is destroying God's people through not obeying the health message. This is so important. Now, my wife and myself, we don't stand here to say that we have got it right, because we haven't. We're still learning and we're still striving. But whatever God shows us, we'll be obedient and we're walking in all the light God has shown us thus so far. And we're just praying today and encouraging every single one of you. Every single one of us has a battle for eternal life. It's not going to be a walk in the park. Jesus never said it's going to be a walk in the park. He said strive to enter into that straight and narrow gate. And I'm afraid, unfortunately, the health message has been taken from God's church and it's been given to the heathens, because we took too long to embrace it. So we're playing catch up. That's why you have the New Age people running ahead. And we've dealt with Christians and non-Christians, and I tell you right now, I've seen more people healed who are non-Christians than so-called God-professed people who should know better. That's very solemn. Because God says, when you know a lot, much is required. And many of us, we're not living up to that standard. So I'm just going to go through this presentation about toxins. It's a very, very good presentation. It just shows you exactly what's going on in our world. And this is why I know Jesus is coming soon, because the way the things are happening, the way evil men are polluting our environment, shows me that Jesus has to come soon. Next slide. Let's have a prayer first. Father in heaven, as we kneel before you, in the precious name of your Son Jesus, Lord, we just pray that you can enter into our hearts and we can have a conversion experience. Being convicted is not enough. We must be converted. And we need to be very, doubly, importantly converted on this health message. It's important. In Jesus' name, amen. Next slide, please, Carina. I'm just going to do a very quick presentation, and then my wife, she's going to come over and take over and speak more about what we actually do. So why do we need to detox? Basically, to cleanse, detoxify, and rebuild the body is the quest of many people living in this precarious day filled with toxins associated with modern living. Let me take that back. Thank you. We are exposed to thousands of toxic substances that did not exist 100 years ago. Insecticides, artificial colorings, preservatives, car fumes, water pollution, chemicals, cleaning agents, cigarette smoke, and drugs place an unprecedented stress on the human body, weakening the immune system and creating new diseases. How many people here have tried herbs and it hasn't worked? I have. I tell you the reason why, because we've got more toxins in this world than we've ever had before. When our pioneers used to use herbs and other things, the world wasn't so toxic as it is today. So God has blessed his people with more knowledge on how to overcome this by combining herbs, which help to destroy toxins and pathogens in the body. This is why the training we get today needs to be different from that of 1844. It needs to be more acute, it needs to be more intelligent. So this is what me and my wife do. We go around and we do training as well, showing people cutting edge medical missionary work, natural health assistance work, to show people how they can overcome various diseases by combining herbs and doing various programs. When the body takes in toxins faster than it can eliminate them, the result is sicknesses and disease. In order to prevent and reverse this disease, we must, listen carefully, first detoxify all the elimination organs of the body. This includes the bowel, liver, kidneys, lungs, skin, blood, and lymph. When the toxins are removed from the body and tissues by special hydrotherapy treatments, and the blood is purified by a diet of organic living foods, juices, and special detox teas, then the body will begin to heal. This is a foundational program for healing. Many of us, when we're sick, what is it we do? I guarantee if I come to your homes, there's pure herbs and pills in there. I know there is, because when we used to go around and we used to help people, we used to see people with loads of pills, natural pills, herbs, thinking that doing this one thing can help them. But it's impossible. Because if the body is toxic, there is no way your body can heal. The body needs to be cleansed first. There needs to be a washing and then a regeneration. And that's what we do in our programs. We wash the body first, we cleanse all the elimination organs, and then we rebuild the body. That's how God's designed our body to work, and that's how we work. We cannot improve on God. Whatever the Heavenly Father does, we do. So, are you adding toxins? How many people check the shampoo which they use in their hair to see the dangerous chemicals in there? Well done, well done. It's very important, because this is how Satan's destroying people. It's through the subtleness of this world. How many people wear makeup here? I hope none of them do, because if you do, you're adding dangerous chemicals into your system. How many people wear body lotion and not read the ingredients? You know, we use cocoa butter on our skin, we use all these other things, but I'm telling you, read the ingredients. We don't need all these extra chemicals to be put on our body. If you're looking to cream your skin or lotion your skin, use olive oil, use coconut oil. You don't need to be using these other lotions which is laced with chemicals which will eventually cause problems in your body. Deodorant. How many people use natural deodorant? That's good. Or how many people are just using what the media tells you to use, like Lynx, Adidas, all these dangerous deodorants. I'm just going to show you a quick video, and I hope it plays actually, and I hope you can hear it. It's just a short 8-minute video on toxins and how much it's damaging the human body today.
You probably heard warnings about mercury levels in fish, pollutants in our air and water, the planet Earth, and the dangers that exist just about anywhere we go. They're found in almost everything we eat, everything we drink, in the air. But what exactly are those toxins doing for our health? It really makes you stop and think, what's this all about? What exactly are all these toxins in your gut? What are they doing to your health?
ubiquitous in the environment. These are herbicides, pesticides, volatile organic compounds, heavy metals. They're everywhere.
Chemical companies are creating thousands of new chemicals every year that have been untested.
More kids with childhood lymphoma, more kids with brain tumors, more adults with cancer.
These chemicals are coming into our life, and these toxins and heavy metals are coming into our life, and what do?
The world is a toxic place. We know that every 5 years, 10,000 new chemicals are in the marketplace that weren't here 5 years ago.
There's no such thing as a pristine environment. It's toxins in the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the food we eat. So if you decide to actually breathe today, you're going to be exposed to toxins, especially volatile organic compounds. If you decide to drink the water, you're going to be exposed to heavy metals. And if you decide to eat food anytime soon, well, you're going to get toxins there as well, especially in processed food or food that's been chemically altered.
There's a tipping point in your body above which the accumulation of these toxins begins to interpret into disease.
Our intake of toxins is much greater than our ability to excrete, and the difference becomes sequestered toxins, our body burden.
The fact is the body burden of toxins today is a body burden that is significantly higher than the body burden was 20 years ago, 40 years ago, 60 years ago. So we don't die from pneumococcal pneumonia anymore. We have penicillin and its derivatives. But we die, more kids with childhood lymphoma, more kids with brain tumors, more adults with cancer. All of these diseases appear to be related to these toxic exposure. To turn your back on that is to turn your back on the obvious.
The study was conducted by the Environmental Working Group in cooperation with the American Red Cross, looking at umbilical cord blood from newborns. And they found on average over 200 toxic industrial compounds in the umbilical cord blood from newborns. Over 70 of those compounds were potentially carcinogenic or cancer-causing.
We take a look at things like lead. For example, lead and mercury fall into what we call a group of neurotoxins. They've been involved and implicated in learning disabilities like ADD and ADHD. Mercury has been implicated in autism. Lead has been implicated in autism as well.
The Environmental Protection Agency sets limits for certain amounts of heavy metals and organic compounds that are allowed in the water, because they look at each one of those compounds separately. They'll say this amount of mercury is safe, or this amount of lead is safe. But the fact is, the whole is much greater than the sum of the parts. If you take what is normally a, say, 1% concentration of lead, which normally would not hurt a rat, and introduce another 1% concentration of mercury, which normally would not hurt a rat by itself, if you introduce them together, that will now kill the rat. We already know that we're exposing toxins to our unborn children through the umbilical cord blood, but even after they're born, you're breastfeeding, and you're exposing the child to toxins from the breast milk. We know that breast milk readily expresses benzene, dioxin, purine, dioxane, and other volatile organic compounds. And these are refrigerant breakdown products, they're in petroleum-based products, they're in pesticides, herbicides, and you're being exposed to these on a daily basis because you clean your house, you use bleach, you use detergents, you use hairspray, and these are things that are ubiquitous. They're all around us. And those things that you're using in and around your house, you're feeding to your child. It's being expressed right through your breast milk. So, if you are a pregnant or nursing mother, it's not just important to avoid these toxins and to be aware of them. It is incumbent upon you to do something to actively detoxify, to lower your own body burden, and therefore lower the risk to your child.
How it affects adults, how these toxins in the blood affect adults. Probably the most identifiable thing is development of high blood pressure, development of kidney failure, development of Alzheimer's disease, development of various cancers and immune deficiencies.
It affects our metabolic systems, it affects our endocrine system. It can cause things like chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, autoimmune diseases have been linked to toxins.
These are the exposures that are part of the, what we call invisible counts. Yeah, we don't see them. You know, it's real easy to take care of somebody in Japan when they spilled all that mercury and people ate the fish. The people that got acutely ill, ran high temperatures, dropped their blood pressures, required life support, they were easy to identify. The people who developed Alzheimer's earlier than they should have, that's the invisible group. We don't see that group. They just become a statistic that we talk about later.
Toxins don't know anything about political or national boundaries. They go wherever the wet air flows, wherever the water flows, anywhere that is accessible, and that's anywhere on the planet. Right now, there's over 1,400 metric tons of particular toxins traveling in the jet stream. Right now, 1,457 metric tons. It's everywhere. Welcome to our world.
So, you've just seen how toxins has got an adverse reaction in our environment and how it's affecting us. That's why God's people need to be a lot more intelligent than what we are, especially when we're going about our daily business and importantly where we're living as well. Let's turn our Bibles to Isaiah very quickly. Isaiah chapter 24. Isaiah chapter 24. And listen to what it says here in verses 4 and 5. This is how Satan's getting us. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. For haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. Why? Because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Because of sin, unfortunately, we're going to be affected directly or indirectly because of other people's actions. And this is why it's even more important so that we have a barrier by keeping God's 8 laws of health. Because when all this does is strengthens your immune system. So if your immune system is strong, you won't be getting any of diseases which God has put upon the Egyptians. So I'm just encouraging everyone to really be very careful about their lifestyle choices. Have a look at this fact. Colon cancer, yes, that's not a typo error, kills 400% more people than AIDS. It also kills more people than breast cancer or prostate cancer. Disease starts in your colon. If you're not having regular bowel movements, if you're not eating the right food, you will get sick, because that's where disease starts. The European Journal of Cancer reported in 2004 that constipation raises your risk of colon cancer. To achieve great health, you must deep cleanse your colon. A thorough cleansing and detoxification of your bowel should be the first step, and is the most important step for anyone who wants to get and stay healthy. Dr. Schultz. How does a detox work? A detox is primarily a pure water, fresh juice and raw food cleansing program. And that's what we do at our retreat, which Carina will speak on a lot more. A good detox program will promote regular, healthy and complete bowel movements, which is essential for the body's health. it must include removing old accumulated toxins, poisons and fecal waste from the bowels. So, the body is always detoxifying, we just need to assist it. So we do all the detox treatments at the same time, because the body does it at the same time. So at our retreat, we do the following: skin detoxification, which includes soap loads, sweating treatments, and exercise. God's people don't exercise enough. If we don't understand the importance of exercise, forget it. It's impossible for you to get better unless you're exercising. Bowels. We do enemas, colonics, herbal teas, detoxification drinks. The Lord is blessed us and showing us how to make up herbal drinks, which can remove over 3,000 known toxins from your body. It's amazing that God's got all these things out there. We also detoxify the blood through hydrotherapy, herbal teas, juices, and water. We also do the liver, again, through herbal teas, poultices, and liver flushes. We also do the kidneys, again, with herbal teas, water, juices, poultices. The lungs, by doing deep breathing exercising and inhaling aromatherapy oils. And we also do the lymph by massage and skin brushing. So when considering a case, we always consider the following: the time, toxicity, and thinking. Depending on the level of toxicity, do we have enough time to reverse it, and how is the patient's thinking? We cannot stress the mind. If your mind is so closely linked to your body, we've seen how people could have become better, but because of their negative thinking, we have dropped right back down. So we teach you all these things about positive thinking and doing the right things as well. Just a couple of testimonials, and this is where I end. This is from a lady in London, and she says, "I've been very impressed with Garry and Carina. Really like the food, the Bible studies, and the program they put me on. I thank God for them." And this is one from Richard. He's from Huddersfield. He's a non-Christian. We had a non-Christian guy who had bowel cancer come to stay with us for 3 weeks. And this is what he said: "Really have been blessed meeting Garry and Carina. I particularly enjoyed learning more about God, as I am not a Christian. I'm extremely grateful for what they have done for me so far, and sharing so much knowledge to me on how I can overcome my cancer. I am very grateful for the protocol that they have put me on." So there you have it. At the end of Carina's presentation, we do have some stuff here. We have booklets which you can take away. We've also, what we do as BodyKure as well, we also do, or embarking on more public evangelism, because as we know, the health message is the right arm of the gospel. And what we do here, we basically do a DVD, and we post these through our neighbours' doors. And basically in there is a DVD about cancer and how to prevent it, and in some cases how to reverse it. And if you want a copy of these, these are just samples we bought today, they'll cost £2. We usually sell them for $2.50. So if you want one, come and see us afterwards, you can have one. And basically, we've done it all for you. And inside the DVD cover, we've also included information about biblical archaeological sites, because we know in Britain it's a very hard place to try and bring people to Christ. They need to see it before they start believing it. And another flyer we had in there is a crisis is coming to Great Britain. We've done a specific one for Wales, where we say a crisis is coming to Wales. And all it is, it just talks about the Great Controversy book. So if people want it, they can order it for free from us. So this is what we do. And we're very active in the work, and we're just encouraging you all to get on board with this health message, because we've seen how it brings down prejudice. So that's it. Thank you for listening. Here's Carina, my wife.
Hello. My name is Carina, as you know already, and I'm going to talk to you a bit more about our experience, how we got to where we are now, and while doing that, I'm going to also tell you what we're doing, and I think that, yeah. Well, as Garry said, we are non-medical missionaries or medical missionaries or natural health assistants. That's the term we like to go by mainly, because when we're working with the community, they don't know what medical missionary is. And first of all, if they get an idea from the name medical missionary, first of all they think we're doctors or nurses or dentists or some professional in that field, or they think missionary. What you're gonna, you know, what? Okay, you tell me. If you think of a missionary, what comes to mind? What was that? I can't hear. Everybody's actually mumbling.
Travel the world.
Travel the world. Exactly. All these things come to mind. Now, if you are a non-Christian, is that going to be something that you want someone to come and talk to you about? You're not going to be really that interested, because you're going to automatically think, okay, this person's got an agenda. This person's going to try to Bible bash me or make me think the way they think. And therefore, we don't use that term, because even though we do have a message to share with them, and we do want to share Jesus with them and the Bible with them, we don't want them to already have a negative idea about it, because it's not going to help our cause, and it will close us off. And anyway, the gospel, the health message is the right arm of the gospel, so we're supposed to gain their trust first before going in there and telling them about Jesus. Does that make sense? And so, that's the reason why we don't call ourselves medical missionaries. And on top of it, we're not medically trained. The actual original term for medical missionary was supposed to be a doctor, trained at Lowlands as sanitarian, but however, it's been changed. Along the way, the name has remained the same, but the tools and things that the doctors now use are not God's way and not God's plan. And I can show you that through the Bible and through Spirit prophecy as well. Some of the things that they do is not right. And so it's left with the rest of the congregation and the rest of us and the rest of us people, lay people, to also do our part of the medical missionary work. And I'm going to go through it a little bit anyway as I go through my presentation. But I wanted to also talk to you how we got here, because how we got here is how all of you and anyone interested in this work can also get to this place as well, because this particular work is something that is needed for the last days. It's needed in our church, it's needed for people out there, because people are dying and they're going to Christless graves. Adventists are dying to Christless graves because they lose faith in God, because they're sick and dying and praying, and they think that God's not hearing their prayers, and therefore they give up and die in their sin, because they gave up on the Lord, because you're praying, and people, and also the family members and friends who are watching this situation are praying for their family members and friends, and they watch them die, and then they lose their faith as well. And then what happens? It's a knock-on effect. So we need to encourage people to how to look after yourself the right way, God's way, not our own way. And so this is what I'm going to talk about. Now, I haven't got much time. As you know, the program goes on and goes on sometimes, but I'm going to do my best, okay? And if you want to know more, then obviously come and speak to me or Garry, or maybe there might be another opportunity in the week where we can get to present something again. Maybe, I don't know. So yes, so as my husband mentioned, BodyKure, it actually developed out of some Bible work that we were doing in Swindon. And it was an amazing journey. Garry and I, we got married in 2011, and we both wanted to be in missionary work somehow. Full-time Bible work or something in the Lord's work. And I'm sure many of you can identify with that. You're fed up with the run-of-the-mill, going to work, not really, only going because you've got to pay bills. You don't really enjoy it, so you're just going because you have to. Getting fed up, seeing the world is coming to an end, and you want to do something for God more fully with oomph, you know? And so we were praying about this, and finding out. And then, you know what? When you pray, God's going to answer you. So just remember that when you pray. Because he answered us, but he answered us in a way that we weren't expecting. And how God works is he makes us go through things that he makes us go through trying situations to bring about your answer to prayer. And so basically, I was a beautician. I had a salon in Birmingham, and Garry works in a gym, and then he left to work in the gym, and he was working for a solar panel company. And we were starting to be okay for money. We were like, yes, we're going to be able to do what we want to do, and everything was starting. We could see that we were starting to climb, and that we'd be able to buy our country home and do all the things properly, have children, and just do the things that we set out to do. But we were praying for God to help us to be in the Lord's work. So, what happened next? Garry wasn't paid. He didn't. He was owed about a few £1,000s, and they kept promising that they were going to pay us, and they didn't. Now, in my business, I was making enough to cover what we needed to cover, but it wasn't enough to cover everything. And then on top of it, where I wasn't owning it, I rented it, and the lady needed to sell up or something. Basically, she moved me to another property where I was working, and it had a knock-on effect on my business. It didn't work very well, and so we had a financial problem. And this is what the Lord used as our answer to prayer. And so anyway, Garry has a son, and we dropped him back home, and on the way home, we went to Swindon Church, which is where we then moved to. And the elder there was saying, oh, we had this plan to do this evangelistic series, and the two Bible workers that we had planned, they've just, they've given up on us, they've said they can't do it. We looked at each other and basically said, we'll do it, straight away. Because we were in a situation that was desperate. Not for money. We did need money, but we wanted to be in the Lord's work more. Because by that time, we sorted ourselves out a little bit, and we were just looking for opportunities of ways to sort ourselves out. We ended up basically giving notice for 4 weeks on where we were in Birmingham, and we moved to Swindon and started a Bible working program there. Now, because of my background in Bible work, because I went to America a few years ago, Amazing Facts Centre for Evangelism, AFCO. I went there in 2008, and I learned how to be a Bible worker. That experience, that is a whole another testimony, to be honest. But that experience changed my whole life in regarding to missionary work, how to do Bible work, how to do outreach, and what my purpose was in this earth and how I was going to go about it. And so it changed my focus a little bit. Even though I thought I was alright, I thought I was interested in evangelism and stuff, but it changed me. So when I came back from there, I was a Bible worker for a little while, and in Nottingham and I did various programs for Bible work. But I realised that as you're going out trying to witness to people, the one thing that everyone seems to want most and more is health. Everyone is crying out for something. Oh, the problem is, if there's a good God, why did my mom die of cancer? I really prayed. I said I was gonna believe in him if he would heal my mom of cancer. Now, the thing is, I believe God can and would heal people with cancer, but he can't do it with certain treatments and methods because it's counterproductive. And God doesn't work in any conjunction with the devil and evil. And so using something like chemotherapy is a poison. God is not going to use that to heal somebody. And so when somebody's praying and using this poison and the person dies, it's because of the chemo and not God. Now, when you work with people, it's hard to bring this around and it's hard to make them understand that in the time that you've got with them. The only way you can do it is by demonstrating it to them and demonstrating help to them and showing them, helping them to change habits and doing certain things. Now, I learned all that as being a Bible worker a few years before meeting Garry and all these things. So now, going back to when we were in Swindon as a Bible worker now, I didn't want to go back and do exactly the same mistakes that I had done before, going around trying to get people to do Bible work or Bible studies when I know they're interested in health more so. And so we took over the program at the church and we changed it, and that's where BodyKure was born. It wasn't something that we purposely went out to set out to do. At that time, I didn't even know really what a medical missionary was or how to go about it. Didn't even really know how the health message or what part it had to play, really. I still thought it was a separate part. You have people that do health there, and you've got somebody else that does the preaching and somebody else there. But it's never supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be combined. God had it combined in the first place, and it's been separated, and it needs to come back together. And I ask you to help that happen by bringing it back together. There's ways that you can do that. So, anyway, so we're in Swindon now, and we're doing the programs. Now, we went out, I'll just go forward. These are the programs, the presentations that we started off with, and then people started asking for help. This was the first one we did. Now, we went out door to door with flyers like this. We had them professionally made, we designed them, and then sent them off to be professionally printed and done. So it wasn't like, just random slanted photocopy piece of paper that, it was properly done. We had 30 people come from the community, and in that area, in fact, we had 20 people come on the first one, and then by the time we did the second one, there was 30 people because the new people brought their friends. Now, this area is quite affluent. In Swindon in Wiltshire, there's not many black people, Afro-Caribbeans. There's a lot of white, indigenous, European people, right? And those are the people that came, and I was so happy for that. Because this message needs to get to those people too. If you notice, our churches are predominantly black, and it's not a good thing because God saves everyone. But for some reason, there's a disconnect, and the health message is a way forward. I'm telling you, I've seen it work. So anyway, we had these people come. And for 3 weeks, this particular program was a 3-week session on Sundays. And by the last one, we had a cooking demonstration and showing people how to eat. And it was brilliant. And the church couldn't believe it. Because we had stepped out in faith, saying to them, abandon those projects that you've got doing, let us take over. And they were all watching us and going, Garry and Carina, there they go, thinking that they know it all. We don't know it all, we're just obedient to God's word and to the spirit of prophecy. When Sister White says to do something, we try to do it. And so, it's nothing to do with us. We have our struggles, we struggle as well, but if you're obedient, then you'll see results. And so, we had a prayer, and we said, right, we're going to do it. Pryce method is go out, mingle with the people, sympathise with them, meet their needs, and then at the end, obey them, follow me. So what happened in the end? We had people come, they came to church, we had Bible studies with people, there was doctors there. There was a family, couple, doctors, and they had us come to their home, they had a meal with them, we had a regular Bible studies with them, and the man said to us, he said, I'm willing to become a Seventh-day Adventist. The only thing that stopped him was his wife. His wife has been in Sunday church all her life, and she was very emotionally tied to her church, and she held him back. But you know what? That seed has been planted, and they know about the truth, and then and in due time, I believe that those seeds will be watered and it will come forth. And it wouldn't have happened if we didn't do the health message first. We had authors come, there was an author that came, and we're actually in contact still with some of these people. And she came to church with us as well, and it was just amazing. There's so many different people we met, so many different genuine relationships that we made with people because we met them where their need was and what they wanted. The health message. The next program we did, so we did that first one in an affluent area, and then this one was in a not so affluent area. And you know what? We still had people come. We had people come. This time there was a few Asian people that came, and a Jewish guy came. And I remember he said he didn't, because how we do it, we basically show the Bible, basically show how the health is from the Bible. And he said he cannot believe or remember that there's so much health in the Bible, and it inspired his faith a bit more. And we were Seventh-day Adventists, he's Jewish, and we were able to witness. There was no other opportunity for that to happen. Now, because we did them too, we started to get invitations now to people's churches, because most of the people that came, because we didn't put in people's face that we're Christians or we're Seventh-day Adventists, but we didn't shy away from it in the flyer. So some of the people that came already believed a little bit in God, or they went to church, or some people. There was a lot of people that didn't believe at all. There was all sorts of people there. Some New Age people, all sorts was there. But there was a few Christians that came, and they invited us now, or the word got out, and we started going to their churches. And this is the one that Amazing Health Secrets is what we did in the church. Now, as a Seventh-day Adventist, going into a Sunday church on their Sunday, on their prime time, do you think that's going to happen? With any other message? We won't be able to go and tell them about the Sabbath or about the sanctuary necessarily. In fact, I think that time's coming. But, that's like, we shouldn't be bringing people that don't agree with our message onto our pulpits. Do you agree with that? And they also have that same view. So for them to allow us to come and speak to them, that's saying something, health message. And you know what? We did speak about the Sabbath because it's in there, it's right in there with the health message, rest. So that was that. And then obviously now, people want to know what to do. How can we eat? How can we eat without meat? Am I going to die without eating pork? Am I going to die without eating beef and chicken? And I want to learn now what to eat. And so we did cooking classes, and it was very well attended. So, why did this work so well? In new fields, no work is so successful as medical missionary work. If our ministers would work earnestly to obtain an education in medical missionary lines, they would be far better fitted to do the work Christ did as a medical missionary. By diligent study and practice, they can become so well acquainted with the principles of health reform that wherever they go, there will be great blessings to the people they meet. For 30 years, and that was when she wrote it, 30 years, for 30 years, the necessity of health reform has been held before our people. By the practice of its simple principles, the sick and suffering are relieved, and fields otherwise unapproachable become most interesting fields of action. The seeds of truth, cast into good ground, produce an abundant harvest. Now, these quotes are packed. Can anyone see what the instruction is in these quotes here, and what? Anyone want to comment? And speak up, because it's hard to hear.
By diligent study and practice.
Yeah, exactly. Diligent study and practice. Right? The things that stick out to me is in the very first sentence. In new fields, no work is so successful as medical missionary work. Now, I would consider the UK new fields. Would anyone agree with me? Because the majority, it's a very secular place. All the churches are closing down. Our church, Seventh-day Adventist Church in this country, is only being maintained because people from other countries have come here. So, you know, it's this whole country is a new field. And Sister White says, no work is so successful as medical missionary work. So, where are all the medical missionaries? Where are all the people that are willing to go out there and do this work? And how are they going to be supported if they give up their work, if they give up their day-to-day jobs? Where are the pastors that know how to do medical missionary work? Or where are their where are the teams? Where is it? And how are we supposed to do evangelism when we don't have this in this country? That's why we're resorting to all the ecumenical ways of reaching the people, because we're abandoning what Sister White says. We're abandoning Christ's method. If we abandon Christ's method, we are abandoning Christ. Some of the things that happen that I can see here, it says, seeds of truth cast into good ground produce an abundant harvest. Now, with this, you know the parable it's referring to here is the parable of the seed, right? And you know, the stony ground, the thorns and whatnot. Whose fault was it that it had a bad harvest? It was the farmer's fault, because the seed and the farmer was the same, but it was to do with the ground. The farmer's fault. Now, does anyone plant and grow food? Right. How do you do that? Do you just go outside and have your seeds and go and dash them? Who does that with their seeds? You don't, do you? You have to, there's a procedure, right? So why do we do that when we go out into the world to witness? We take the Bible, we take this precious seed of truth, and we go and hope, oh well, that's their opportunity to know the Lord.
Creating an enabling environment.
Sorry?
Creating an enabling environment that's doing the groundwork.
Absolutely. It is so important. And there's so many parallels to do with evangelism and the gospel in the Bible. We need to pay attention and to do with gardening in the Bible. It's harvest. It's the harvest. There's a parallel there, but we're missing it. And we need to prepare the ground. And that preparing the ground is partly to do with meeting people's needs and showing them that you care for them. And now you can plant that seed of truth, and it might sit there for a while. There's some seeds that sit there for a while before they do anything. There's some seeds that need cold temperatures before it does anything. There's many different parallels that we can see, and it depends on the person and the ground that you put it in. So anyway, I'm sure you can think and ponder that point. So, people need help. We have a wonderful message of truth, and people need help. Not only with the gospel, but with health. Because people are dying out there, waiting, and they're dying to Christ's graves, and it's our fault. Do you realise how much... I don't want to be responsible for people being lost. And as a church, we're responsible big time, and I'm worried about that. Anyway, people need help. Cancer, people with cancer came to us from these meetings. We were overwhelmed, and we still are, to be honest. People with cancer came, diabetes, fibroids, MS, lupus, high blood pressure, all sorts of things. If they didn't have it, they had somebody, a friend that had it, or a family member, and they want to know, how to help them. This is out in the community, more so in the church. And at that time, still, I didn't realise there was so much sickness. We've become so desensitised. Everyone's got something wrong with them. It's normal. You're not sympathetic with people anymore. Go to the doctor, they'll sort it out. Go and take this medication now. It's shoo. Go and deal with it somewhere else. When we have the answer, we just don't believe in it. There's a disconnect. So I felt impressed by the Lord to help and do my part to fix the situation, and Garry felt the same way. However, was dragging his feet a little bit more than I was. Because he thinks, well, if you go in the world, there's so many health things. All the health food stores are owned by non-Adventists mostly, and everything, the health message has gone into the world, so he feels that there's no point. Well, he's changed his mind now. Anyway, I went to get training in America. I'm going to try to speak a little bit. This is where I went to do training. That was my actual dorm, and I only put that there just as a somewhere I went because I felt, even though I knew about drinking water and that it wasn't health, I felt there was more needed for serious diseases and things like that. I felt like I needed more. When really I already knew it, but I just didn't have enough faith in it. So anyway, I went away to get training, and I came back and I felt more confident to help people with cancers. God opened the way. This is we live out in Wales, southwest Wales. God opened the way for us to move and live in Wales. Now, after all this happened while we were living in Swindon, we lived in a tiny studio, Garry and I, and we were praying, Lord, please, we need to move to the country. You said, live in the country, work the cities, and go back home. Do that. And so we want to follow your plan. Please help us to do that. Now, we also need to keep our money low, because if we're going to do the mission work, we know that people are not always so generous when it comes to giving, although some people are, but not everybody is, or they've got their own financial restraints. And we don't want to make merchandise out of the gospel. We don't want to make merchandise out of the health message and keep selling stuff all the time. So we have to keep our money low so that the money that we do get, we can still live. So we live in a static caravan, and it keeps our bills low. And it's not on a caravan site. It's actually on a farm, and there's a farmhouse next door, and we get along with the landlord very well. And we're able to do even some medical missionary work on him, and it's working. Oh, the Lord is good, I tell you. Anyway, so we live here. Now, this is a video, but I can't play it because for some reason the video twists and goes the wrong way around. I can't figure out how to do it, and my laptop won't connect to the stuff here. So anyway, this lady, she's got MS, very bad. Her legs are bent in a position where she can't move. We went with her for 1 week, and basically she was able to stand up a little bit. And improvement was seen in 1 week, and we needed to stay with her longer. We wanted to stay with her longer, and she wanted it to, but there was a financial restraint, you know. So I'm actually going to put an appeal to you guys. You know, if anyone is willing, Jeremiah Davis has been talking about, you know, being in the Lord's work and supporting the Lord's work. If you'd like to support us as medical missionaries financially, I'm going to put it to you. Because then, if we can have all of our bills and all of the running costs of the retreat and everything paid by £20 here, £50 there, people supporting, then we can offer this service for free. We're not trying to make money out of people. We're not trying to live rich. We're not trying to live lavish at all. We just want to do the Lord's work. But we cannot do it on our own. Anyway, this lady, it was a wonderful experience with her, and she saw so much improvement. That was her legs. After doing some treatments and spending a week with her, we were able to straighten them right out. When they're bent, fixed literally, and tight, you can't move them, bend them open. She has spasms, and her MS is progressively worse. But in 1 week, we was able to stretch them out, and she was able to relax, and we did it, and it was amazing. I'm going to show you some pictures here. Some of them are quite graphic, so I'm going to show you some pictures. This young boy he had cancer. He was 11 years old. He did die. He made it to his 12th birthday though. But his parents called us in very to the end, because they were already doing a lot of natural stuff, and his cancer was very aggressive. And he he was in so much pain. So much pain, and his parents didn't want to give him any morphine anymore because the morphine knocked him out for 23 hours a day.